everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this DIY, we'll be using these two items from Dollar Tree to make our canister. Of course, the final cost of each canister will depend on what you use to design yours. As for me, I already had a lot of things in stock and some of the stuff I've gotten for free, so it's hard for me to put an exact cost on how much each decorated canister cost me. My guess would be under $4 each. Again, you'll need these two items from Dollar Tree to make the canister. And I'll be sure to leave the SKU in the description box below. Here I have the 9-inch Hurricane from Dollar Tree. And here I have one of these little containers from Dollar Tree with the lid. And we're not using this, but we will save this for another DIY. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. So hold on to the first thing I want to do is remove this plastic from around the base of our lid. Now this is going to be our lid. If you want to leave it there, you can, but I really don't like the look of it, so I'm just using a pair of nail scissors to cut it off. What you want to do is remove the plastic from around here, and we're going to set this aside for now. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is tape off my glass. Because I'm going to put a 3-inch white strip down here, I need to tape it off. So the first thing I want to do is use a marker. And I also have this measuring tape. I'm just going to wrap it around the glass and then mark off 3 inches. But I'm marking on the inside because this will wipe right off. Alright, so now I have my mark. The next thing I have is some masking tape. This came from Sherwin-Williams and I just so happen to have it. You can also use this from Dollar Tree. So what I want to do is just tape off a straight line. You want to make sure that you really smooth this out because you want a really crisp line. Alright, just like that, and this will be the part that I spray paint white. Alright, so the next thing you want to do, you can use newspaper or you can continue to use tape. I have some paper towels here. So I'll use this paper towel to cover the back of the canister. Okay, so we have all of this taped off and this is going to remain clear. So now what you want to do is tape off the bottom and the top. So next, I'll go outside and spray paint the exposed area. I'm thinking it'll take about 3 coats of the spray paint. If you don't have spray paint, you can use acrylic paint. It would be great if you had some Mod Podge. You can mix the acrylic paint with the Mod Podge and then brush it on. If you use like a frost spray paint, that would be really nice as well. And I really do have some of that, so maybe I'll try that. If you guys want to see that, leave that in the comments below. And like I said before, you can use some of this acrylic paint. Now what I would do is mix this with some Mod Podge and then brush it on. So I'm going to take this outside and spray paint it white. I'll do one really thin layer. Let that completely dry. This is important. Let that completely dry. And then I'll come back in with a second coat maybe an hour later. And then I'll wait probably 2 hours. And do this when it's warm outside. And then come in with a third layer. And then I'll let that dry for at least 2 or 3 hours. You'll probably only need 2 layers of the acrylic mixed with Mod Podge. Okay, so this is the one that we'll be working on today. I have sugar, flour, tea, and coffee. I have it in black, and I also have it in gray. You'll be able to find these on my Facebook page under the same name, Beverly Stunning Creations, and you'll be able to print those out there. What I want to do is seal this. You can use a regular brush on Mod Podge, but I'm going to be using the spray because it's just a whole lot easier for me. I want it to be sealed before I work with it. So I'm going to take this outside because the spray is kind of strong. I'm just going to spray the top, let that dry. Then I'll come back in and cut each one of these letters out individually. Now I'll decorate the top by hot gluing 2 rows of bling wrap around it. Just like that. Now I need to create some type of cushion for the lid because I don't want it to clank up against the base when I put it on top. I have 2 options. You can take some colored string of your choice. I would use white and glue it to this part of the top. and that'll create a cushion so it won't bang up against the canister. You can also use hot glue to create a cushion as well. I simply apply 2 rows in a zigzag pattern around the bottom of the top. As you can see, I've sprayed my entire work sugar with the Mod Podge spray. And remember, you can use a liquid Mod Podge for this part as well. And I have 2 different sizes of scissors. Makes it easier for me to cut it out. And I won't do them all on camera. I'll just cut some of them out. Now, if you are using a white background, this does not have to be perfect, but if you are using a different color background, then you try and cut as close as you can to the color of the letter as possible. So I'll go off camera and cut the rest of these out and then come back. Alright guys, I have this paper here because I spilled some Mod Podge on my surface, so I had to cover it up. Alright, so now I have my container and I've sprayed it like 3 times. And I want to put my lettering right down the center. Here I have my S, my U, my G, my A, and my R. And now I have an idea as to where I want it. Let's see, I want to move it up just a little bit. So now I'll brush on some Mod Podge and then glue the letters onto my canister. Alright, so now I'll make sure that all the letters are glued to the container smoothly. I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes and then come back. I also went over each letter with Mod Podge to deepen the color. Now I'll put this aside to let it completely dry. Once it does, I'll spray the untaped surface with Mod Podge. And again, you can brush clear Mod Podge if you want to over it. But yeah, you really do need to seal it afterwards. Now I'll add 2 rolls of bling wrap at the top and the bottom of my container, and then 1 strip on each side. Next, I'll glue some rhinestones onto my letters. I'll be using Mod Podge, but you can use whatever glue you like. I'm simply dipping the other end of my paintbrush into the Mod Podge and then using it to dot the glue onto my letters. After that's done, I'll put the rhinestones on top of the glue. Now I'll put the remaining rhinestones on off camera and then come back and let you see what it looks like. Okay, as you can see, I'm done adding the rhinestones. And you'll notice here that the Mod Podge is still white, but once it dries completely, it'll be clear, just like on the first letter. But now let's move on to the second DIY that's really similar and very easy to do. Now moving on to the second one, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I'm going to duplicate what I did here. There's no need to talk you through it because you pretty much seen me do it in the first DIY. Instead of paint, I'll be using mirror towels and bling wrap. One other thing on this one that's different, you want to put the lid on first and then add your mirror towels. After we're done decorating the container, I'll show you how to decorate the lid. I'll be using the lid from this container that I purchased from Dollar Tree as well. I'll be sure to leave all the information on the products that I use in this DIY in the description box below. And to make my top more decorative, I'll be gluing on this clear plastic knob. And my glue of choice is the Gorilla Clear Glue. along with 2 really small drops of hot glue. I'll let this sit for an hour, then come back and finish decorating it. This next step is really simple. I simply use some hot glue to glue 4 rows of bling around the lid. After that was done, I glued some mirror tiles around that little ledge at the top of the lid. And off camera, I decided to add a rhinestone at the very top of the knob. Now to finish the lid, I apply some Mod Podge at the very top and then sprinkle some white glitter on top of the Mod Podge. I let that dry and then sealed it with some Mod Podge spray. If you don't have that, you can use any type of clear acrylic spray. And here's my decorated 4-piece Dollar Tree canister set. And this design is perfect for you glam and bling girls out there. And don't forget, these can be designed to fit your decor, so if you're not a bling queen or into glam, you can definitely tone down the look. I really love them because they're beautiful, budget friendly, and they work for my small kitchen. Now if those are not enough bling for you, you can kick them up a notch by adding some mirror tiles, like the ones you see here. Now these canisters can be used in any room in your house. It depends on how you design them. They can be used in your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, and even your bathroom. The sky is the limit. It's all up to you. Now the 2 smaller ones are being gifted to my daughter. She'll be using those for her makeup brushes. And here's another one I did at the very last minute, just for you Chanel lovers out there. I designed it pretty much the way I did the first canisters, but if you would like to see a DIY on it, make sure that you comment below and I'll add it in the next DIY. That will be this gorgeous tray that I'm using to hold my kitchen canisters. And I promise you that it's super easy and inexpensive as well. And if you're wondering how I keep these clean, I simply wipe them out with a damp paper towel. Then I go in with a dry paper towel and make sure it's completely dry before I use it again. Okay everyone, this concludes my DIY. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. It's absolutely free. And make sure that you turn on your notification bell so that you won't miss my next upload. And please don't forget to comment and share as well. Alright, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.